You know that hairstyle you've been wearing for what feels like forever, the one that looked great when you were in your 30s? Well, here's the thing. It might be adding years to your face now, and you may not even realize it. And listen, there's no shame in it. We all get attached to what once worked. But the truth is, your hair can either lift your features or drag them down. Today, let's find out which styles are really helping you glow. Turning 50 is not the end of your style journey. If anything, it is where things get interesting. You have been through enough to know what matters. You're not chasing every trend anymore. Now, it is about what actually works for you, what feels right, what flatters your features, and what fits your lifestyle. And your hair plays a bigger role in that than you might think. A lot of us are still hanging on to the styles we wore back in the day. Maybe that layered cut from your 30s. Maybe that bold, dark dye you loved in your 40s. It is familiar, sure, but is it still doing you any favors? Hair changes as we age. Texture, volume, and even how it frames your face. So should your hair cut. This is not about looking younger. It is about finding a style that lifts you up and lets you feel like the best version of yourself right now. Let's take a closer look together. Let's face it, our hair changes as we age. It gets thinner, a bit drier, and sometimes just harder to manage. But here's the problem. Many of us are still wearing hairstyles that were meant for our younger selves. That old cut or color might have looked great once, but now it can actually make you look older. You deserve a style that fits where you are in life today, not where you were 20 years ago. Let's talk about how to make that shift. Let's talk about those choppy, messy layers. You know the kind. Maybe you got them 10 or 15 years ago and thought, wow, this adds so much volume and movement. And back then, you were probably right. They were trendy, fun, and flattering. But here's the thing. As we age, our hair changes. It gets finer, more fragile, and sometimes a little unpredictable. And those once great layers, they can start to backfire. Think about it. You wake up in the morning, brush your hair, and instead of falling nicely into place, it flips out on one side, flattens on the other, and frizzes up in the back. One side curves under your chin, the other side sticks out toward your ear, and the back has a mind of its own. You end up spending 30 minutes trying to fix it with mousse, a round brush, or even a curling iron, just to make it look decent. And who has time for that every day? The truth is, too many layers, especially short or uneven ones, can actually make your hair look thinner. I know, it sounds backwards, right? But layering removes weight in places you might need it. If your hair is already fine, cutting too much away just emphasizes what is missing. It also creates what I call visual noise around your face. Instead of drawing attention to your eyes or your cheekbones, all people see are flyaways and pieces that never quite settle down. Another thing to consider is how these layers affect the shape of your face. When layers fall below your cheeks or jawline without any real framing, they can drag your face down. Rather than giving your features a lift, they do the opposite. And that can make you look tired or even like you're trying a little too hard to look youthful, which we both know is never the goal. Now, let's be honest. A lot of us chose this kind of cut because we thought it would add volume to thinning hair. And for a while, maybe it did. But if you find yourself constantly battling with your style just to feel presentable, it might be time for a change. Your haircut should work with your natural texture, not against it. It should be something you feel good about, something that fits your lifestyle and reflects who you are now. So what's the fix? Softer, more blended layers can still give you shape and movement, but without the drama. Or you can try a more uniform length that builds volume from the bottom up. Either way, the goal is simplicity and elegance. Your hair should feel like a friend, not a full-time job. Remember, a great cut does not need to be complicated. It just needs to be right for you right now. Let's have an honest talk about hair color, specifically jet black dye. For years, Black hair has been seen as powerful, bold, and striking. And for many women, it has been their signature look. Maybe it made you feel strong. Maybe it brought out your eyes or matched your personality. And for a long time, it worked. But here is what often happens after 50. That same jet black shade can start doing the opposite of what you want. As our skin changes with age, it naturally becomes lighter and softer. That youthful glow we once had in our 20s fades a little. So when you put jet black hair, an extremely dark, dense color, right next to a softer complexion, the contrast can be pretty intense. Suddenly, the black starts to highlight things like dark circles under the eyes, fine lines, or uneven skin tone. It does not brighten the face. It actually sharpens every little detail you might prefer to downplay. And then there is the maintenance. Let's not ignore it. Jet black hair is one of the hardest colors to keep up with, especially if you're going gray. The moment your roots start growing in, even just a little, it shows. That stark line of white or silver against the deep black can be frustrating. You find yourself needing root touch-ups every 2 or 3 weeks just to keep it looking even. It is exhausting, expensive, and often unsustainable. Plus, black dye can make your hair look flat and lifeless, especially under natural light. It tends to absorb light instead of reflecting it. That means if your hair is already dry or thinning, the color can make it look even more brittle or dull. You might notice your hair feels heavier or looks harsher. And instead of that vibrant, full look you were hoping for, it can seem stiff and overly dramatic. So what is the alternative? You do not have to jump straight to blonde or silver. A gentle transition can make all the difference. Think rich dark brown, soft mocha, or even adding warm caramel or chestnut highlights. These tones still give you depth and personality, but with much more softness. They reflect light better, blend with gray more naturally, and can even warm up your entire look. And the best part? You will probably notice that your eyes pop more, your skin looks healthier, and you feel more vibrant overall. It is not about covering up who you are. It is about letting your natural beauty come through without being overshadowed by too harsh color. So if jet black has been your go-to shade for years, it might be time to ask, is this still working for me? You might be surprised by how freeing it feels to let go of what used to work and step into what works best for you now. Let's talk about big hair. Teased, stiff, high-volume hair. We all remember it. For a long time, the message was clear. The bigger the hair, the better the woman. It meant glamour, confidence, and a little bit of sass. You teased your roots, sprayed until it would not move, and walked out the door feeling like a queen. And hey, at the time it worked. But now things have changed. Our hair changes as we age. It becomes finer, softer, and more delicate. And when we keep teasing and spraying like we did back in the day, it does not quite have the same effect. Instead of lifting your features, it can weigh them down. Instead of giving shape, it creates something stiff and helmet-like. Your hair does not move naturally anymore. It sits there, frozen in place, and makes everything else feel dated. Here is the thing. When your hair has no movement, it also has no softness. And that lack of softness can make your whole face appear more tired. Think about it. A hairstyle that frames your face gently, that moves as you move, that catches the light, that gives you life. But a hairstyle that stands still and holds its shape no matter what, that can make your face look older and your energy feel stuck. Not to mention the maintenance. Teasing every morning, spraying layer after layer, brushing it all out at night. Your scalp starts to ache just thinking about it. Over time, all that teasing and tension can cause breakage and even more thinning, which, let's be honest, is the opposite of what you were going for in the first place. And here is another truth we do not often talk about. Over-tease volume tends to throw off the proportions of your face. If your hair is piled up high, but your features have softened with age, the result can be unbalanced. The eye is drawn up instead of toward your smile, your eyes, or your expression. It feels off, even if people cannot exactly say why. But here's the good news. You can still have volume, just a different kind of volume. Think soft lift at the crown instead of sky-high peaks. Think gentle layering that creates shape and flow instead of backcombing that creates a nest. Use lightweight products like volumizing mousse or root lifting spray. Let your hair move, let it sway, let it breathe. A modern haircut with built-in shape can do wonders. It can add body without the damage. It can highlight your best features without trying too hard. And most importantly, it can match your energy today, not who you were in 1985. So if your morning routine still involves a teasing comb and a cloud of hairspray, it might be time to try something new. Something that reflects your beauty, your ease, and your right now confidence. Let's talk about the soft bob. This is one of those cuts that quietly works wonders. It is not flashy. It is not trendy, but it is timeless in the best way. The soft bob sits somewhere between your chin and your collarbone. It does not try too hard. It just flatters. What makes it so special? For starters, it frames your face beautifully. Instead of overwhelming your features, it supports them. Your jawline feels lifted. Your cheeks look softly sculpted. And when done right, the bob moves with you. It has that light bounce that makes your hair feel alive again. This cut is especially helpful if you have noticed some thinning or changes in texture. As we age, our hair tends to lose some of its fullness. The soft bob gives the illusion of volume without adding a bunch of layers that you have to fight with every morning. And unlike longer styles that can drag your face downward, the bob lifts everything. Another bonus is low maintenance. You do not need a curling iron or a round brush to make this cut look good. Most of the time, you can air dry it and use your fingers to shape it. Maybe give it a quick pass with a blow dryer or a flat iron if you want a little polish. That is it. Simple and done. The soft bob also plays nicely with color. If you are embracing your grays, it adds a modern edge that keeps the look fresh. If you're adding highlights or lowlights, the movement in this cut helps show off that dimension. It reflects light in just the right way, giving your hair a healthy shine. And here's something you might not expect. Women who switch to this style often describe feeling lighter. Not just physically, but emotionally too. It is like cutting away the old and stepping into the present. You're not hiding behind hair anymore. You are stepping forward with confidence. The best thing about the soft bob? It does not try to make you look younger. It lets you look like the most polished, vibrant version of yourself. You're not chasing your 20s. You are owning your 50s, 60s, or 70s, and looking fabulous while doing it. If you have been wearing your hair long and are ready for a change, but not ready for something super short, the soft bob might be that perfect middle ground. It is graceful, it is versatile, and it feels like a fresh start that still feels like you. So if you're looking for a hairstyle that gives you shape, style, and ease without any drama, try the soft bob. You might be surprised at how much it brings your whole look to life. Let's talk about the textured lob, also known as the long bob. It is the haircut that finds that sweet spot between short and long. If you're not quite ready to go full bob, but know your longer hair is starting to feel heavy or outdated, the textured lob might be exactly what you need. This cut typically falls around the shoulders, sometimes a bit longer, and features soft, subtle layers. Nothing too dramatic, just enough to add movement and shape without making it hard to manage. It gives you length where you want it and lightness where you need it. One of the biggest reasons women love the lob is flexibility. You can still pull your hair back into a ponytail when you are on the go. You can't tuck it behind your ears for a casual look. Or you can wear it loose with a soft wave that frames your face beautifully. It does not box you in. It gives you options. And here is where it shines: texture. The lob loves texture. If your hair is naturally wavy, it enhances that. If your hair is straight, you can easily add a few soft bends with a curling iron or even just by braiding it overnight. No complicated styling routine needed. Just a little movement brings the whole look to life. Now, let's talk about how it flatters the face. That shoulder grazing length softens your jawline and brings attention to your eyes. It draws the focus upward and makes you look more awake, more vibrant. And if your hair has started to thin a bit, the lob can give the appearance of fullness without stacking on layers that make things harder to style. It is also a great canvas for color. Whether you're going gray, adding highlights, or playing with warm lowlights, the movement in the lob helps show off that dimension. It is the kind of cut that lets your color breathe. It does not hide your texture or weigh you down. It lets you look like yourself, only fresher. And let's not forget the emotional piece. A lot of women hold on to long hair because it feels safe. But safe does not always mean flattering. The textured lob feels like a confident yes to change without diving into anything drastic. It is current, it is stylish, and it respects where you are now. So if you're looking for a haircut that is easy to manage, flattering on just about everyone, and full of that modern energy without trying too hard, give the textured lob a try. It is soft, it is versatile, and it just might be the change you did not know you needed. Let's talk about curtain bangs. I know. The word bangs can bring up some traumatic memories. Maybe you had a bad haircut in high school or spent months growing out a blunt fringe that just never worked. But curtain bangs are a whole different story. They are soft, grown up, and surprisingly flattering. Think of them as the gentle fringe that frames your face without demanding too much from you. What makes curtain bangs so appealing is how forgiving they are. They are typically parted down the middle or slightly off to the side, and they drape softly down the sides of your face. No harsh lines, no heavy cuts, just soft pieces that blend right in with your layers. They do not scream for attention. They just quietly pull your look together. And the best part? They work with almost every hair type. Straight, wavy, or even curly curtain bangs can add a little life to your look without needing constant touch-ups or heat styling. If your hair has started to thin a bit around the front, curtain bangs can also help disguise that. They bring a bit of volume and movement right where you want it. They are also a smart choice if your face is softened over time. As we get older, our features change. Our jawline is not quite as sharp. The skin around our forehead may show a few more lines, and sometimes the area around our temples starts to feel a bit hollow. Curtain bangs help soften those shifts. They frame your eyes, lift your cheeks, and bring the attention back to your expression instead of your hairline. Styling them is simple. A little heat at the root, maybe with a round brush or a quick touch from a curling iron, and you're good to go. Or even just your fingers and a bit of styling cream can do the trick. And if one day you do not feel like wearing them out, you can pin them back or tuck them behind your ears. Easy. Another thing people love about curtain bangs is that they grow out beautifully. You're not stuck with a high-maintenance look. They just get longer and blend in with the rest of your hair until you decide whether to trim them again or let them go. That makes them perfect for anyone who wants to try something new without committing to a big change. So if you're feeling stuck in your hairstyle but do not want to do anything drastic, curtain bangs might be your answer. They add just the right amount of fun, freshness, and softness. It is a small shift with a big payoff. Try it. You might be surprised at how much it brightens your whole look. Let's take a second to talk about something a little deeper. Your hair is not just about how you look. It is about how you feel. A haircut is not just a cut. It is an extension of your energy. And if you're still holding on to a style that matched who you were 20 years ago, there's a good chance it is not showing who you are now. Over the years, we change. Not just our appearance, but our mindset, our priorities, our outlook. What felt bold and right back then may now feel outdated or like a chore. And that's okay. It is normal. But here is where many women get stuck. They think changing their haircut means letting go of their identity. In reality, it is about stepping into the next version of themselves with grace and confidence. When you're wearing a hairstyle that suits the person you are today, everything feels more aligned. You stand a little taller. You walk with purpose. You look in the mirror and think, yes, that's me. And that feeling is powerful. I've talked to women who told me, I had no idea how heavy my hair had become, not just physically, but emotionally. They had been clinging to a look that required too much maintenance, too much styling, too much covering up. And once they let it go, they felt lighter, freer, more themselves. Your hair should reflect the life you are living now. Maybe you travel more. Maybe you spend time with grandkids. Maybe you're rediscovering hobbies or passions you put on hold. Whatever it is, your hair should fit that lifestyle, not fight against it. It should be easy, elegant, and most importantly, honest. And guess what? People notice. They might not say, hey, your hair looks more authentic, but they will notice that you're glowing a little more, that your energy feels different, that you seem more confident, more grounded, more present. Because the truth is, aging is not about fading away. It is about refining. It is about knowing what works for you and letting go of what no longer serves you, including that haircut from another chapter in your life. So if you're feeling disconnected from the way you look, it might be time to ask yourself a simple question. Does this still feel like me? If the answer is no, maybe it is time to try something new. Something that feels easier, lighter, and truer to who you are right now. You're not trying to be younger. You are just trying to be yourself, and that is more than enough. You know what feels even better than looking younger? Looking in the mirror and finally seeing someone who feels like you. Not a version from 20 years ago, but the woman you are right now, confident, clear, and comfortable in your own skin. When you let go of that old haircut that no longer fits, it is like shedding a layer you did not realize was weighing you down. I have heard women say, I never knew how much I was holding on to that style until I let it go. And suddenly, they feel lighter, not just in how their hair moves, but in how they carry themselves. The right haircut does not just change your appearance. It changes your energy. You walk differently. You speak with more ease. You smile more. Because now, your outer self reflects your inner strength. That moment, that shift, is the key. And once you feel it, you will wonder why you waited so long to embrace it. So here's what it all comes down to. If your haircut is making your mornings more stressful, your styling routine longer, and your reflection feels unfamiliar, then it is not doing its job anymore. You deserve something that fits who you are now, not who you were then. It does not need to be drastic. Sometimes the most powerful changes come from the smallest shifts. A little softness, a little lift, a little freedom in how your hair moves. That is where the magic starts. Your style should support your life, not complicate it. It should be something that makes you feel proud when you walk out the door. Because you're still growing, still glowing, and your hair should reflect every bit of that. If something in this video made you pause or think, take a moment to share in the comments. I would love to hear what hairstyle you are wearing now and what change you might be curious to try. And if you know a friend who needs a little hair inspiration, go ahead and send this to her. Don't forget to subscribe for more real talk on style, confidence, and showing up fully at any age. Thanks for spending your time with me today.